So the Minnesota Vikings have just hired their newest general manager, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and this video I have everything you need to know. Get to know our new general manager because he is officially now replacing Rick Spielman as the newest Vikings general manager, and I'm excited. Everything I've heard about this guy has been positive. He's young, he's bringing in analytics, he seems like he's a relationship person, just everything you want in a person that's leading your company, that's leading your team, that's leading your business is this guy, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. I'm excited to get started. This is the start of a new tenure because we always say the best run teams, it always starts at the top. Here's the top. Here's the cake. Now we just got to go get the icing, the sprinkles, the candles. We just got to get everything else. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, everything you know about him right now. All right, so this guy has absolutely dominated every field he's been in. He has dominated every field. I don't care if it was football, school, whatever. He has been all around the map. For his education, he got his bachelor's from Princeton, and then he got his master's from Stanford. And then right out of college, he was a portfolio manager at the Taylor Woods Capital. That was his first job outside of college at such a young age. He did great at that position, got promoted to be a VP at a credit commodities trading company, and that was his first couple years outside of college, and he just dominated that field. Then he said, you know what, I'm gonna hit up the NFL. I'm gonna see what the NFL has to offer. So from 2013 to 2017, he was with the 49ers. He was the manager of football research and development, and he did a great job. And then he got promoted to the director of football research and development. Eventually, after the 2019 tenure, he went over to the Browns, and he was the VP of football operations. And now finally to the present, he is the Minnesota Vikings general manager. He has had a quick rise, honestly, from 2013 to 2022 of getting a general manager job. And that's what I love. I feel like he is a very smart guy. He has to be. He's bright. He's personable. Any quote, any report that I've tried to read, it always is talking about how he's always picking people's brains. Everybody says how he values relationships more than you would think. The reason I like him so much is because in the old regime with Spielman and Zimmer, there was this dictator type of mentality. And whether it was intentional or not from Rick and Mike Zimmer, there was this dictator mentality where it was like, if you're not the GM or you're not the head coach, you don't really have a say. And that was just a vibe through the lens of the fan. I'm guessing that was the same vibe from the lens of a player, from the lens of people close to the organization that have came out and said this. And it seems like Kwesi is the complete opposite. Every quote I've heard, the one that stuck out to me was he loves asking questions. He had a quote when he was saying, even the most simple questions can be complex. And then he was saying, I try to get the most complex reasoning for then I can get a complex answer. He's a very deep thinker. He thinks everything analytically. He tries to break everything down, and I absolutely love it. Listening to this guy talk, I wish Kwesi would start a podcast. I mean, he was any interview I've seen, he's incredibly insightful just on football, on life, on how you should handle yourself. I mean, he's great. I mean, he's an incredibly intelligent guy because apparently one thing about him, he wants information from everywhere. So like I was saying earlier about the dictatorship, I'm hoping Kwesi is the type of guy, he'll come to the coach and be like, hey, what are you looking for in this upcoming draft? Or he'll come to the quarterback and say, all right, with the offense, what do you think you need? Do you think you need a left tackle? You need another weapon on the outside? Like, hey, I have a couple guys that are coming out of college in the third round that I think I want you to look at. It seems like he's a very collaborative person where he gets everybody in the organization involved. And the number one thing, he's a nerd. He loves analytics. Finally, I love Rick and I love Mike Zimmer, but the Vikings, the 1990s football had to stop. It really did. It had to stop going halfback dive, and then to a 3rd and 8 play action out of shotgun. I think the Vikings, this is the situation, when you could break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then normally the person that you get with right after the breakup is completely different than the person you originally dated. I think that's what the Vikings are doing here. I would be fully convinced that they would get a offensive head coach after this. I think they're going completely progressive because we've always heard the Wilfs. They're a completely progressive ownership. They've wanted to be progressive, and the reports coming out of the Vikings organization is that everything in the organization was progressive except for Mike Zimmer. The deal he got was 4 years, $12 million. That was actually just reported about 30 seconds ago by NFL Network. So I think that's about the going rate. I think normally coaches get about $6 million a year. I think GMs around 5 or 4. So you probably got the going rate. I'm excited though, and I think all of you guys should be. There's not really a bunch of breakdown I need to give you. Just talking about who he is as a person, I feel like I know the guy every time I talk. I mean, you guys can go look him up. Let's look up an interview, look up some quotes about him. People really talk highly about him. He's always asking questions. He's an incredibly intelligent person. So let me know what you guys think about him down below. I know a lot of people wanted Ryan Poles, but the only reason people wanted Ryan Poles was because he was connected with the Chiefs. That's the only reason. I mean, that's the only reason fans wanted him. Kwesi's great. Embrace him. Shut the hell up about Ryan Poles. He's going to go die in Chicago. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes. Shout out to Kwesi.